Hey guys, it's been a while, hasn't it? Well, for a video that is anyway. I'm going to play some Tour 7, Introduction to the Pro series, and right now we're doing the Hollywood tournaments going on, but this should also carry into people who are going from Tour 6 to Tour 7. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the clubs that I'm going to be using. I am going to be using the extra mile. You could get away. You could use a high-level quarterback or rock, but you know, for some distance on certain holes, I'm gonna go with the extra mile because I don't know what hole's coming next. I like the sniper. The Guardian is also a very good club. If you don't have at least a level 8 sniper, I would say to use the Guardian. Some people go as low as 6. And again, I like the backbone for the accuracy. I don't think the Saturn is 100% necessary, but you know, it's nice to have. And then also I would recommend the Thorn because the backspin is excellent. And if you can, the Thorn or the Claw, really both of them are excellent. If you compare the two, you actually got better accuracy with the Claw. I think when all's said and done and they're both maxed out, I'm probably going to switch to the Claw, but right now they're not. So what I really like about this is if you have enough room on the green, on the putting green, for the Thorn to bounce forward and then roll back, you could try to dunk. And if you hit the dunk, you just took a stroke off your game. If you miss the dunk, you're only a couple yards away from a nice easy putt. Wedges, bring whatever wedge you want to bring. That's no big deal. Nirvana is you know, the club that I choose. It's got the distance as well as accuracy. And then I also choose the Malibu. There is the Spitfire, which gives you 11 more yards of distance. The thing that I don't like, though, is the 2.3 ball guide. There are times that I am able to chip in from the sand using the Malibu, and I would be unable to do that with the Spitfire. So without any further ado, let's fill up these chest slots and get started with some Tour 7 fun. Now, one other thing before we get started, I want to point out, look at my bankroll. I have 3.8 million gold coins, which you would think, well, hey, RJ, that's plenty of room to, well, not plenty of room, but plenty of money, bankroll-wise, to go ahead and play Tour 8. But I'm new to Tour 8, and I was struggling on Tour 7 for a while, and I don't want to go all the way back down to my buy-in of 1 million gold coins by getting on a big losing streak. So instead, I'm saying I need to have at least 4 million gold coins to take another crack at Asia Pacific. So more bankroll management. But anyway, without any further ado, let's hop on in and see if we can't win those 4 chests rather quickly. I'll explain my thinking as we go forward, and you know, the approach of the shot that I'm taking and everything. And I hope this really helps you out. Now, this particular hole is very interesting. Obviously, you can see you can go left or right. If you go right and you end up in the rough, your Nirvana, and possibly even a Razor or something, I'm not 100% sure, but definitely your Nirvana will reach the green. If you go to the right instead of the left, it's not going to be so simple. You might get lucky depending on where you hit to be able to go to the green. But you have an easier second shot on the hole. So, you know, it's all about your second shot. He hit it excellent shot there. Another thing you might want to know is, well, what ball should I use? I like the Navigators myself, but with a 5.4 mile an hour wind, I'm going to go Quasar. And just because he took that way, I'm going to take the front way. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some top spin on. I'm going to go full top spin just because we're working against the wind just a little bit. And I know that it's about 2 miles per hour per ring. So I'm going to move it to about here. And that should get us, with the spin and the curl, full curl, we should safely end up, if not on the fairway, than the rough we would reach. As you could see, even if we would have ended up on the rough, I would have made it to the green in 2. However, he has a little bit easier shot because you see how he's got that little pathway, so he can bounce his ball and roll it into the hole. But he brought the big dog with him, which I absolutely do not recommend bringing the big dog for Tour 7. You want something with a lot more backspin because most of your games are going to come to shootouts. So unless he can sink this, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. But you never know. People pull some things. Oh, we might not even go to a shootout now. Small little mistakes. That's why you got to leave room for margin of error, which is exactly what I did. I knew if I landed on the rough, I would be okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put full backspin on because I want my ball to land on the green somewhere. I'm going to back this up because I know the wind is pushing it a little bit forward and a little bit to the right. I just want to make sure that I have a nice, easy putt. I'm not trying to get it in the hole. And it doesn't matter if I hit it perfect, great, whatever. All that matters is you pulled it back far enough. And as you can see, he's going to have to chip it in from the sand. And we're going to have a nice, easy putt. Hopefully for a victory. And he's got the Spitfire. Now mine was level 2. But see, all that distance you get with the Spitfire really doesn't help you on holes like this. This is where the Malibu helps me. However, if I land, like if this was a par 5 or something and I landed in, you know, the bunker, then I might be in a lot more trouble because I could use the extra 19 yards to possibly get on the green. But he just hits the ball great, didn't have much of a ball guide, and that's where he's stuck. So unless we shank the putt, we won't even have to go to a shootout. So we are going to put the ball to win. He's already conceding. Perfect shot right into the hole for the birdie. And that is how I play this hole. We're on the Pro Series tour. And this is the way you go, you know. Bam. 200,000 gold coins. I'll take it. Plus a Tour 7 chance, which gives you an opportunity at, you know, those really high level clubs, which I am trying to unlock. What do you call it? The Apocalypse. So with that in mind, let's move on to our second hole. Hopefully we don't get repeats. And as you can see, I've already maxed out Tour 7. Am I the best Tour 7 player out there? By no means, but I know what I'm doing enough to possibly show you a few things. And that's exactly the reason for this video. So we pull Brett, who's an expert league. I believe I'll be an expert league after this weekend because Tour 8 pays a lot of cash. And here's a new course that I haven't yet played. Kind of wish I had the quarterback for this hole, because really you just need to end up in this area here. Trying to see if I want to play dangerous. Let's see what the wind looks like with the navigator instead. Okay, I don't like the possibilities here that I'm facing, so I'm going to go back to the Quasar. I'll deal with the wind. I'm going to go full backspin and just try to land in this fat area here. Now, I know I got 7-mile-an-hour wind working against me, so I'm going to go ahead and push the ball up a lot further than I normally would, because that's going to knock down my my ball. So main thing I want to do is stay away from the rough. And as you saw, I hit it great, and it was pretty close to the rough, but didn't go in the rough. That's giving yourself margin for error. And another thing, in the past, a lot of these trees that you see weren't necessarily in play unless you were like, there was a big line of trees. Now they are, so I wonder how that's going to affect our second shot. So let's see how our opponent plays this. I wouldn't take that shot with a 6.5-mile-an-hour wind pretty much in our face. Let's see. He has a lot more curl on his club, so he might get more aggressive, but you see he's still taking off some of that that spin and going with the backspin. So let's see how Brett plays this. He might have a little more experience than me. So see, if you don't learn from me, you can potentially learn from the opponent. So let's take a peek. He is going full power, a little bit over. He hits it great, but with better accuracy on the Apocalypse. That shouldn't hurt too bad. Unfortunately, though, it did, and that just killed his chances. Now, I would really like a big dog for my second shot here, but because we don't know what clubs are coming, or I'm sorry, what courses are coming, we can't really prepare. You see how that's affecting our shot there? So what I want to do at this point is, I don't want to get crazy. I want to land as far up as I can on there. So let's see, we got a 7-mile-an-hour wind. It's going to blow the ball that way. So let's put it right about there and hope that we made a good enough wind adjustment. Hitting it great is not a big deal with a sniper because it's so forgiving with that 100% accuracy. Probably could have got a little closer to the top, but I don't like playing overly aggressive. And I think this will be another opportunity for us, potentially, depending on how he plays this, to we'll have a chip in opportunity where he won't. He's going to have to chip it in with a much longer club because of his first mistake. Now, if I had a big dog, I could have been on the green as opposed to where I am now, and also if we had favorable wind. So that's where plays like that really come in handy. But because he's got an 8.1 mile an hour wind, I believe we're going to have an 8.1 mile an hour wind. And he shows the unhappy face here, but in reality, he might be able to reach the green from there. So not really sure. Let's this is going to be kind of hard to chip in because we don't have much room. So my main thing here is just to make sure that I have a nice easy putt. Let's see. So I don't expect this to go in at all. I just expect it to be nice and close to the hole. We got the perfect shot. It's the end bringer, so even if it wasn't perfect, no big deal. And now it's a very small area of putting green, and he's going to have to hit it with his rough to see how close he can get. And that's doable, but with a 10.2 mile an hour wind and a rough iron, I think we're in good position to go ahead and take this lead. Well, not the lead, but the game. So let's take a peek here at how he handles this. I would be overpowering and curling it as well. I probably would have set my target up a little bit more, but actually, yeah, more to the left. I think he actually caught a break by hitting it good, but unfortunately, he went into the water anyway. But you see where it hit the fairway. So if he would have, yep, and he forfeited. You guys know how to putt, so no big deal. So that's 2 games, 2 chests, 200,000 gold coins because we put 100,000 of our own gold coins in. And we're now over 4 million. But because this is going to be a Tour 7 game, we are going to, or I'm sorry, video, we're going to continue playing Tour 7 until those chest slots are filled or until I lose 3 games, whatever comes first. Do not continue playing if you keep losing. You're just going to spend all your money and you're going to be very frustrated. You got to know when to walk away. This could have been a live stream in the format that I'm doing it in, but I wanted it as video because it's not necessarily tournament specific. Okay, here's another new hole. I really like the idea of the quarterback here, but again, we can't really choose. It's going to be really hard to get much curl, so we can't get it up into that top area. So rather than going to the top area, I'm thinking I'd rather just end up just on the other side. Oops. Didn't realize the wind was quite like that. Just on the other side of that little funny looking rough in the middle of the fairway. That's all I'm going for. I'm not going aggressive. I'm taking what the course is giving to me as opposed to trying to take more. I don't see the high risk, high reward paying off here. A lot of people would do a lot more aggressive shot, and a lot of times it'll pay off, but a lot of times it won't pay off. And it looks like he may be doing that. As a matter of fact, right here, he's going to try to get a little further up on the fairway. And, maybe he's played this course a few more times than me. I actually like the placement of that. You put some curl on that ball, and you should be okay. And there goes his curl. I think he actually set up better than I did. But I played it safer. And by watching him do this, next time I'll know, well, hey, that's a pretty safe shot that he took. So, you learn by watching, and that's exactly why I make these videos. You watch me play, you might not learn from me. You might learn from my opponent. So we got a 2.6 mile an hour wind. We know that we get 1 mile per hour, or 1 ring per mile per hour, so we're not really going to have too much of an issue here with the wind. I'm going to go with some topspin and some curl. And what I'm going for here is I want to get as close to a chip type area as I can. I'm not going to fully overpower it because that'll just take us to the rough. I'm not even really going to curl it. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the ball normally and hope that the spin of the ball gives me a favorable second shot. Once again, taking what the course is giving me. And let's see if our opponent's aggressive play pays off for him. Because that first shot, he obviously got a few tens of yards ahead of us, and it does look like it's going to pay off for him. He's going to be able to get onto the green in 2. All he's going to have to do is, move it over just a bit, put a little bit of side spin. So going aggressive in this particular case is definitely paying off for him. And even if he hits it great, he's got the sniper, which is the most forgiving club I can think of. So he's going to be right on that green with no problem. Ooh, well, that could have been scary. I'm sure his heart sunk there. And he'll have a nice easy putt while we'll have to be tasked with chipping it in, probably with a short iron. I don't even think we're going to have an opportunity here. No, we're not. Okay, so this is the minimum distance right here for the thorn. And the thorn, I'm not sure what the minimum distance, how that works out in terms of the wind guide. I know at maximum distance, it's definitely 2 miles per hour per ring. Yeah, we can't even go any shorter. So I think we're going to just lose this one. Time's ticking. I just got to get my shot off. I'd rather take a shot than not take a shot at all. And we're going to miss. And he took a stroke off of his game simply by playing it a little bit more aggressive. And as we saw, you can do it with the extra mile. With the curl and with a low wind speed like that, there's not really too much calculating you have to do. And Darnell should take this game. Oh, he hit it great. And it goes in. Well played, good game. And we learned something. So if we get this course again, we're going to try to be just a little more aggressive because it shows that it pays. So no chest. And we move on. And we're playing Joe. Let's see what course we get here. Okay. This is another one, I believe it or not, I actually kind of like the quarterback on this one, simply because I don't like playing aggressive. The second shot is more important than the first, as long as you don't end up in the rough. We have very skinny fairways here, with this hole and the other hole where you jump over the river, which is a lot like it. And you know, if you have a high-level sniper or a big dog or a hammerhead, you should easily be able to make it in two. So we got the wind in our face, so I'm not going to curl it. Let's see if that 3-mile-an-hour wind is not, we don't really want that to affect us. We want to see these rings. You see the blue ring and the yellow ring? I want to make sure that if I hit it great, I'm not going to end up in the rough. So this is what I'm doing to ensure that, you know, I'm not going to have to use my Nirvana, which definitely will not reach. Now I'm hoping that wind knocks it down just a little bit so I don't end up in the rough. And as you can see, I had a little bit of room to spare. And with all the top spin of the sniper and that perfect accuracy, I have no doubt I'm going to be getting it onto the green. And this is kind of tricky up here. You want to, at all costs, avoid those sand traps. If that wind was sideways as opposed to, you know, kind of diagonal and forward, I think that it would be a little scarier attempt. But we should both make it on the green without a problem. He might have went too far. And that does look a little uphill. He might have a hard putt. You don't have to go that far. As a matter of fact, one thing I like to do with this is, you know me, I like how the target shrinks. And it grows and it shrinks. So normally I like pulling it back and using top spin. But in this case, I want this ball to stop right near the hole so I don't have a really long putt like him. I'm going to back it up because there's a 6.2 mile an hour wind, and putting it right here, we should end up right by the hole. I'm not trying to chip in once again. I'm not worried about hitting it great because of the forgiveness. And as you can see, we'll have an easy putt. He'll have a long putt. I'm not saying his putt is not makeable, but it might not be makeable. You know, there's certain limits, and the fact that he's got to go uphill. Oh! I didn't realize he caught a break. I didn't realize that. I thought he ended up on the putting green. So that's a big break for him. But I still like our odds better than I like his. So many times I've seen shots like this and it rolls so close and just goes past. That wasn't the case for him, so that would be the preferred shot. If I was over there, I'd much rather be able to use my my wedge as opposed to putting it uphill and at that distance. So we'll get to see a shootout hole here. And an eagle's always a good thing, unless your opponent gets an albatross. So Joe and I are going to a shootout. And this is a shootout that I've never had before. Now there's two ways we can go here. We can use that bank much like we do in Tour 6. And with this particular club, you can see it really shows you how it's going to go down. That's one way you can go, or we can island hop. We can hop it right over here. Because this is my first time playing, I really want to do the island hop. And again, about 1 mile per hour per ring. It might be a little bit less, but I know with 4.7, I'm safe taking this shot. Maybe not as safe as I want to be. Let's put just a little bit more backspin on it, because we know the wind's going to push it a little bit further. And let's see, hopefully we can get this shot off before the timer runs out. We hit that island just like we wanted to. We didn't get as close as I was hoping. Probably a little bit more backspin, but let's see how our opponent plays it. Again, you can also take it and bank it around, much like that Tour 6 shot. I believe that it actually banks to the left instead of the right, but there's another one that banks to the right to the left. So he's taking the same approach we are and using much more backspin. So I believe he's going to win this game. But I'm not too mad at that shot for this being the first time that I'm actually seeing this hole. So let's just sit back and admire his win, because that's exactly what's going to happen here. I needed just a little bit more backspin. Well, that went a little further than I expected. Are we going to eke one out here? Oh, wow. Yes, we did. Good game. You know he's upset about that. He used a lot of backspin, and that taught us a little bit about the slope of the green. So because of that, no rematch. Let's see. We have our third tour chest, so one more game is all we have to win, and we will end this afterward, coming up on a half hour. Don't like going much longer than that for my videos. Hopefully we win this game and we'll be able to keep the max trophy count. Let's see who we're going to end up playing. Jacob. And is it a new course? Is it an old course? Okay, the same course as the one we had before. So again, you know, with this, I would really like to have, say, I keep saying I'd like to have the quarterback, but in reality, it really doesn't matter if you hit the ball perfect enough, I guess is the words I'm trying to say. I'm going about, what is it, 3.5 up, and then also once again, full club, 2 rings per wind, so right here should be fine. And then I'm going to put the full curl on. And once again, a decent shot, even if we end up in the rough, which we did, my Nirvana's going to make it up there. So went a little too aggressive, messed up on it, but we're still going to be on the green in 2. If he goes to the right, he'll have an easier shot to chip this in. And if he goes to the left, even if he, and it does look like he's going to the left, he would really have to somehow do some magic to get that ball to go up enough so he'll be able to use the fairway right in front of the putting green. And takes a nice bounce, and oh no, now in the sand, because he landed in the bunker closest, I think he's still going to be okay. He might have to bounce it right here and get it in, but either way, I think he's going to be okay. If you're playing in the Pro Series tournament, I really believe that, you know, you're going to have the skill needed to make shots like that. So we got 4.3 miles an hour going forward. I like where we're set up. I don't want to take any chances backing it up more. We do hit it perfect. Again, I'm not going for the chip in as opposed to trying to get a nice easy putt. And the fact that we're on the fringe is okay because we could dunk, or, you know, if the winds are too high, we can put the top spin on and hit it in from there. But yeah, as long as that's not as far, that is as far. So this is a little riskier shot. He should be able to get up there. I would probably overpower it just a tad like he's doing, just to ensure it hits the ramp and goes up. But if he hits a good shot, he's in trouble of missing the green altogether. So very risky considering that that meter moves so much faster. Let's take a look at how this turns out. He did hit it great, which I think he'll be fine. No. And he's going to have to try to chip it in with I'm going to assume he has Nirvana. So it's going to be battle of the chip-ins. We got the easy chip-in. He's got the harder chip-in with a 7.6 mile an hour wind. I'm not going to mess around with trying to dunk it. I'm just going to use this ball guide with that top spin. Look how tiny it makes the target.
Get over here if you're getting killed.
Right in the middle there. Wind is not going to be a factor. Perfect shot. This should roll right in, putting tons of pressure on our opponent. and hopefully getting us the win. Now, this is also why I prefer the Nirvana over the Amazon. If he has an Amazon, there's not much of a ball guide on that. He's got the off-roader. I'm not too familiar with this club. So let's see a 8-mile-an-hour wind from this distance with a rough iron. I would say he's definitely a gifted player if he makes it. Especially, I don't think he made any wind adjustment, it didn't look like. So he's going to have to hit it great on the right to have a chance, I believe. A perfect shot will miss left. Perfect shot. Just barely missed left, but it did miss left. So he knew what he was doing when he took that shot. It was just a harder chip. But anyway, this has been a couple, Tour 7 games. So if you're just starting the Pro Series, thank you for checking out the video. We're slightly going over the 30-minute mark. And now we have 4 chests that could all potentially have the apocalypse in them. And this is what we're all playing for. We want to continue to grow. Make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, you hit that subscribe button. If this was helpful at all to you, hit the thumbs up button. It really helps, lets me know that the content that I'm putting out is something that you want to watch. And if you have any questions, post them down below in the comments. I answer questions whether you watch this the day it comes out or if you watch it a year after it comes out. Right now my channel's the perfect size to where I can still attend to everyone. Also, if you do subscribe, hit that bell icon because I do a lot of live streaming. And if you want to join us in a live stream, we normally have about 40 people in there or more at the time of recording. And if you have any questions or want to play a match against me on some Friendly Fridays, we take care of all that for you. So thank you so much for watching and supporting me. And, you're the reason I do this. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed just a little bit of Tour 7. Take care.